Hello. Hello, people. I'm super excited to be here with y'all tonight. YouTube is letting y'all know that I'm here. I'm going to go ahead and let y'all know that I'm here as well on Facebook. If you're not following me on Facebook, then you should be. Make sure that you go ahead and like my page on Facebook. If you have not yet subscribed to this here YouTube channel, please make sure you go ahead and do that as well. And hit the little bell, turn on the notifications so that you never have to miss a live stream or video again. I'm just saying. So I'm going to go ahead and let y'all know on the book that I am here. And I'm super excited to be here with y'all. You know, yep, there we go. I'm going to post it there. And I'm going to post it there. And I'll do one more while I'm waiting on y'all to come on in here. That one. There we go. So I'm super excited to be here with y'all tonight. I was just telling my husband, girl, I don't know why, I don't know what's going on, but I have been super tired lately. Like it just seems like I cannot get enough sleep. And at first I thought, I'm getting adjusted to being back here in Cuba, being back here at Gitmo. And so I didn't really, put too much into it because I just figured, it takes a little while to get adjusted to being back on island. Adjusting to the food is not always easy for me because my stomach is super, super sensitive. And so sometimes she don't like, what I be putting in there. So I be trying not to do too much, you know what I'm saying? But I just been really tired lately. It just seems like I cannot get enough sleep. And so I've been trying to do my best to kind of rest my body as much as I can, while also still like getting work done. And I was talking to one of my coworkers about it, like I think that was earlier today or yesterday. And she was like, well, you might be depressed. And I was like, depressed? Like, I don't think that I am currently depressed. I mean, I definitely have struggled with bouts of depression here and there. For those of you who are new to me, I was diagnosed with PCOS in 2016. PCOS is polycystic ovarian syndrome. And long story short, it fucks with my hormones. You know what I'm saying? And so, what I have come to learn since then is that when I'm not like really taking care of my body and doing what needs to be done in order to maintain balance with my hormones, in terms of the food that I'm eating. I try not to eat too many simple carbs and things like that. But also, I have a multivitamin. Well, it's a vitamin, not a multi, but it's a vitamin supplement that I take called inositol, and that inositol really helps to balance me out. And I find that when I'm not being consistent with the inositol, I kind of struggle emotionally, because the hormones in my body are kind of all over the place and doing whatever the fuck they feel like it. So it's possible because I've been intermittent with my inositol here lately, and I've been doing okay with the food, like with the eating and stuff. So that's not, I don't think, a big issue for me. But I don't know if it's so much depression that I'm struggling with as much as it really honestly is just like stress. I have been just like, I have a lot of decisions on my plate that need to be made. I mean, we have to make a decision about our apartment. And I hate being like away from home when it's time to make decisions like that, but I don't really have a choice. It just seems like it always kind of falls that way. So you know, rent is high as hell in South Florida. And so I'm just like, trying to get that sorted out, get that figured out. I'm still looking for work. I have a job. Clearly, I'm here in Cuba, working my job. So I have a job, but I would like to be able to stay home. I would like to be able to be in the States for a little while and kind of settle in, or really just to be able to like settle down in one area and really start to kind of create a life for myself, that's a little bit more stabilized. And so, I've been applying for stuff, applying for different jobs and stuff like that. I did get some good news today though, which is always good. I It's always good to get good news. You know what I'm saying? But I actually received my notification today that I was approved for my licensure renewal. So I'm excited about that. Y'all know I be washing clothes and shit. Um, my professional license, I'm licensed as a professional counselor in the state of Louisiana. So I got my notification today that my license did get renewed. So I'm excited about that. And, I've been really considering like, what's next for us, for me and my husband. We have a lot of really big decisions that we are facing right now, and that we have to make, that really are going to have an impact on, not just our lives, but the lives of our loved ones in a lot of ways as well. And so it's a difficult time, and like trying not to stress out about it, trying to stay as even and as balanced about it as possible. But it's like the more that I really think about the reality of the decisions that need to be made, it's like the more I start thinking about the decisions that led me up to this point. You know what I'm saying? And I think for a lot of us, like that's kind of like this cycle that happens, which really feeds into us getting overwhelmed and making it that much more difficult for us to make the decisions that we really need to make, because it's not just about this decision. It's not just about the decision that we're currently facing. We also, did that light do anything? I feel like that light didn't really do anything just now. Maybe it did. I don't know. But like, it's not always just about the current decision that needs to be made. Like, it's about this decision, but then it's also about all of the decisions that have led up to this point. And so it's like I'm thinking about all of the choices that I've made over, really like the last 10 years or so, and thinking about like what the outcomes of those choices have been. And it's like, I don't necessarily regret any decision that I've made, because it all, I think, has led me to whatever this next chapter of my life is. But some of those decisions, I look back on them, and I think at the time I didn't really understand the impact that those decisions were going to have on my life. And I think the reality of that is kind of weighing a little heavily on me. And I think that is kind of what's contributing to a lot of the stress that I feel right now, some of the worn outedness that I'm feeling right now. It's just one of those things. It's like, obviously I can't go back and change any of those decisions. Like I said, it's not necessarily that I would want to change any of those decisions. But I mean, I think it's understandable to look back at those decisions and kind of be like, damn, like if I had done this differently, or if I had done that differently, or not even so much like playing the what if game, because I try not to do that, but it's hard. You know what I'm saying? Like it's hard to stay out of that trap of playing the what if game. So it's not. I try not to do that. So it's not so much about like the what if, so much as it is about like the reality of the fact that like these were the outcome, this was the outcome of this decision, and had I made a different decision at that time, how would that have changed the outcome? And it's like a part of me realizes that there's no way to really know. There's no way that anybody can know exactly how differently your life would be, or like whether or not, a change or making a different decision at a particular point in time could or would have changed the course of your life. But you can definitely contemplate it. And I think it's easy to fixate on, a particular perceived outcome when you don't know. It's almost like the person whose parent was not there growing up. You know what I'm saying? It's Father's Day this weekend, so we'll say like the person whose daddy wasn't there when they was growing up, and so the whole time that they're growing up, they have this idea in their mind and they fantasize about who that person is, like who their father is in real life, not really having anything to compare that to, or not really having any like any reasonable basis to like any reasonable foundation to base that idea off of. But you make it in your mind like things would be so much better, things would be so much different, if only this had been different, but there's really no way to know that. And so I think it's important to not fall into the trap of trying to postulate on what would be different had you made a different decision. I think we have to really stay in the reality. And the reality is that these are the decisions that I've made, and those decisions have led to these particular outcomes. And just do our best to try to grow from it, and utilize it as positively as possible in the next chapter. And that's kind of where I am, because I definitely feel like I am on the cusp of the next chapter of my life. I don't know exactly what that next chapter looks like. I have an idea of what I want it to look like. I mean, I know very clearly what I want the next chapter to look like. And I'm working toward uh, building that and growing that and manifesting that. And every decision that I've made up until this point, even the ones that have caused me pain and caused me hurt, anger and frustration and embarrassment, all of those crazy ass negative ass emotions, even those have led me to this place, where I'm on the cusp of the next thing, the next chapter in my life, and so I'm grateful for that. So my responsibility at this point in time is not to dwell in the what ifs, but to really understand what was happening at that time that caused me to make that decision. What was going on during that time that contributed to the decision that was made? What were my options at that time? What was my thought process at that time? What was my emotional state at that time? And just really try to understand that as much as possible, so that as I move into the next chapter, as I move into this next phase of my life, I do so with a deeper understanding of what was and the possibility of what could be. You know? That makes sense. It makes sense to me. It does. And because I've been thinking a lot about it, like I really have. I've been thinking a lot about it. I think that's because like I'm ready to move to the next chapter of my life. I've been ready for a while now. Like I'm just in a place in my life now where I'm just like I'm over it. Like I'm really over this chapter, this phase. I'm very thankful for this chapter, this phase. I mean, so much has happened in this phase of my life. I mean, listen, I found my husband, or he found me. We found each other. I've grown so much. I feel like I have found my forever people. My core people. Like so much has happened on an internal level in terms of my personal growth. I am not the same person today that I was coming into this particular journey almost 7 years ago. Really, probably about 8.5 years ago, to be honest. Like, I'm not the same person, and yet I am, like, at the same time. Like, it's a very interesting it's a very interesting juxtaposition between like where I am now and where I once was. And I'm very grateful for the current chapter that I'm in. But I'm also ready to move into the next chapter. And whatever it is that is lingering, that's causing me, because I feel like at this point I've been ready to move to the next chapter for a while. Let's just be real. Let's be clear. I've been ready to move to the next chapter of my life for a minute now. You know what I'm saying? But it hasn't happened. And I have to believe that. I think because I know what I know about how human beings work, because I know what I know about how the universe works, how God works, my understanding of how God works, God and the universe, which is all one and the same, then I think I can say with confidence that there's a reason why I have not progressed into the next chapter fully yet. There's something that either I'm missing, or I have yet to fully realize, I have yet to fully understand. Like there's a reason that I'm still in this chapter of my life. And my goal or my responsibility at this point is to figure out what that is so that I can apply it and move forward. So I've been actively pursuing this understanding of where I am and what's going on. Um uh no, Lucy, I don't do that. So yeah, so I'm just like in that place in my life where I'm ready to move to the next chapter. And because I'm ready to move to the next chapter, I am actively pursuing an understanding of what it's going to take in order to get there. So I'm just, I think when it comes to the decisions that I'm currently facing, I'm being very, very intentional about making these decisions because I believe that I'm being confronted with these decisions, um, because they are a part of the closure of this chapter. You know what I'm saying? Like, the choices that I'm facing right now are choices and decisions that are intended to usher me into the next chapter of my life, which means that they are closing this current chapter. And so that means that there's a major lesson there. That means that there's something there that I need to get. There's something in these decisions, like in the decision making process, that I need to pay attention to. And so I'm really making the effort to pay attention to what's going on, to really put thought into these decisions, but at the same time, like not overthinking it, you know. And I think that's the struggle, that's the journey, for most of us, for a lot of us, um, and that's where I find myself. So feel like I'm kind of rambling a little bit right now, but I hope that y'all understand that. I mean, do you understand what I'm saying? Like, are you facing decisions right now? Like, what is it that, how do you know when you're on the cusp of the next chapter? What is it that speaks to you that says you're on the cusp of a next chapter? You know, talk to me. Let me know. I'd love to hear from you. And I'll share what those decisions are soon. I just don't want my decisions to be influenced by y'all's input, because I do listen to y'all's input and I do take y'all's input seriously, But I feel like right now, these decisions are things that me and my husband need to, like decisions that me and my husband need to make, just the two of us. So yeah, that's me. That's me. That's where I am. That's what it is, um, at this point in life. That's my check in for this week. Yeah. So talk to me. I want to know how things are going for y'all. I want to know what decisions you're currently facing. Are you on the cusp of a next chapter? Are you recently ushered into a next chapter? Talk to me. Let me know. Okay. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, and hit the little bell to turn on the notifications to make sure that you get notified when new videos are posted and things like that. Okay. Make sure you tune in tomorrow. I'm going to try to post a brand new video. Well, maybe not tomorrow, maybe Sunday, a new video. Because I have a hair appointment for tomorrow. Need to get something did to my locks. You know? I love y'all and I appreciate y'all. And until next time, be well. Bye, y'all.